Easy Forex, and this video here is going to be one of the most important videos that you're going to ever watch, period, hands down. I'm not exaggerating. I've been around entrepreneurs, around people who made a lot of money for a very long time, and I'm telling you, every single person had to go through these processes of fixing this issue, or else their success meant absolutely nothing. In essence, many who didn't go through this process ended up losing everything in the end. So as I'm going through this particular video, I'm asking you very, very, very much so, please take notes. I'm going to be very, very detailed to help you walk through and navigate this very, very touchy subject. This, again, is one of those subjects that hardly, to be honest with you, I've never seen a video about it, period. Although every entrepreneur and trader has to at some point deal with this. And yet I have not seen a single video on this. So again, I'm just trying to be a blessing to you to kind of help you out. Some of you guys are already dealing with this. Some of you guys don't know it, but you will be dealing with this. So I'm going to help you by giving you step-by-step information so that you can understand how this occurs and how to fix it. Now, I will say up front, some parts you're going to be in total agreement with me, but some parts you're not going to like because I'm actually going to be stepping on your toes. But it's necessary so that you can correct certain things, as well as helping to navigate your way around not falling victim to people not supporting your vision. Okay, so here we go. We got a lot to go through. Please take notes. Number one, I want to be very honest and transparent with you why sometimes when you have a vision, people don't immediately support your vision, okay? Because again, I'm going to talk about them, but the truth of the matter is we also got to talk about ourselves, okay? This is very important because one of the things is we always are good at talking about why people ain't supporting us, but at the same time, we need to dig deeper to see why sometimes people don't want to support us. So I will be talking about you, but I will be talking about them. Here we go. Number one, let's talk about them. Number one, take notes and play this back. I guarantee this is going to be a blessing for you for years to come. Okay. Number one, the reason why a lot of people don't support you in your family, and when I say family, that means it could be your significant other. It could be your mom, dad, sisters, brothers, friends, whatever, coworkers, whoever has immediate access, write this down. Whoever has immediate access to your heart is who I'm talking about, because those are the ones who matter to you. I'm going to say that again. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Whoever has immediate access to your heart, that's who we're concerned about, because you're trying to prove to them that your vision is going to work. And what you're trying to do is get them to buy into your vision so you can feel supported. Why? Because they influence your heart, because you care for them. So whoever that is, whether it's your grandmother, whether it's your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whether it's your children, whether it's your sisters, your brothers, your mom or dad, whoever has this influence that you're seeking their approval to, or their buy-in on your vision, is who we're trying to talk about today. This is very important information. I promise you, there is not a single YouTube video that you're going to come across, especially for traders in the market, who's going to talk about this vital subject that can kill your trading dream. Because it's one thing to learn how to trade, but if you are fighting against people who don't believe in you, you're going to have a tough journey, because now you're fighting to try to learn how to trade while you're trying to fight to prove to them that it's going to work. And now you're just in an uphill battle on both sides. And it's a very tough journey for you if you're dealing with that. Okay. So again, here's number one. So let's call them your influencers, whoever it is, whatever. Here's number one, why they don't support you sometimes. Number one, they failed and they have a family history of failure. So their conclusion is that everyone fails, without exception. I'm going to repeat that again. Make sure you're writing this down. Make sure to play this video again, and do me a favor, because I don't monetize my channel. I'm just trying to get some content out to help people. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you think this is going to be helpful to you and my other videos have helped you, just hit the like and subscribe button. It's free, okay? Number one, they have failed. In their dreams and in their visions, they have failed. And they have a family history of people who tried something in their family and have failed. So their conclusion is that everyone fails without exception. And so therefore, when you come along talking about you're working on a vision of doing XYZ, their natural internal conclusion before even really hearing what you have to say is that it's not going to work. And it's not personal. See, that's the problem. You're taking it personal, and it can feel personal. Why? Because I said this and set the tone, because they have access to your heart. And the people who have access to your heart means their opinions means a lot to you. So it's not like you can't feel some kind of way about it, because they have influence over your heart. So what they say matters. But on the other side of the coin, it really isn't about you. It's about their experience with trying to do entrepreneurial endeavors, regardless of whether it's trading, investing in real estate, investing in crypto, investing in whatever. You can go down the line. They tried that, done it, got the t-shirt, and says their conclusion says it doesn't work. Get a job, sit your butt down, get your medical benefits, and call it a day, because it doesn't work. So their conclusion came long before you got started with your vision and idea. So when you present your idea of what you want to do, you're already fighting against their historical data. I hope this is making sense so far. Now, on the flip side, now that's them. We're going to keep going through our list, going back to them and to you, them and to you. Now, I've talked about the initial point, why sometimes they don't support you. Now, let's go to the other side. Here, we got to talk about you. I got to step on your toes. You're not going to like what I have to say. Number one, for you, remember, you want to draw a line down the middle of the paper. One side is them, one side is you. Here's number one for you. You're very inconsistent with what you say. You have said many times that you was going to do something, but you don't follow through very well. You're one of those hit it and quit it kind of people. You say promises, but you don't keep them. You're a truth breaker. You're not a man or woman of your word. And they have seen you say you was going to do other things and put in no effort at all, or very little effort. You tried it for a day or two, a week or two, and then after that, you just walked away. Which confirmed, remember what I said about them? Which confirms what they already think about people who try to do entrepreneurial endeavors. It doesn't work. And you're reinforcing that long before you came with this idea of being a trader, because they watched you say, when you started other things, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And you started off with what the Bible calls zeal. That means you came out with excitement and thrill in your heart. You made this grand announcement, and that was cool, but they watched your behavior. And they saw that you are no different than all the other family members in their historical data who said the same thing, didn't follow through, and quit very quickly. So your inconsistencies is a confirmation for them not to support what you're trying to work on now. I told you, you're not going to like this, but it's good for you. You got to remember, I'm a coach. I'm not your friend. And coaches don't care about your feelings. They care about getting the results. You want some results. You want them to support you. The problem is that you're doing things or have done things historically that confirms what they were already feeling about people like you, who always want to start out trying to blaze a trail to the world, and you fizzle out and you're dragging them along with you. And part of that is because you're inconsistent. You say you're going to be here at 6 o'clock, you're here at 7 o'clock. You say you're going to do something, and then you keep lollygagging and procrastinating and putting things off. And now you want them to believe that you're going to be this so-so in this business. Cha-ching, cha-ching. In their head, ain't going to happen. You're fooling yourself is what they believe. They already have their doubts, but your inconsistent behavior reinforces their feelings. I told you, hey, if you don't want the truth, don't tune into this channel. Number 2, let's go back to them. This is going to hurt your feelings. But I know a lot of traders who fit into this category. Number 2, they don't want to follow a dictator. Uh-oh. Whoa. Let's flip to the other side, to you. Are you demanding allegiance versus earning trust? Are you demanding their allegiance versus earning their trust? Are you the type of person who comes into the room and tell people what you're going to do and this and that and that and this, and you really don't want no feedback from nobody? Are you? I mean, we all have some flaws, so it ain't like I'm trying to say you're separate from anybody else. I'm saying this is things that we as traders have to deal with, because oftentimes we don't want to hear feedback, because yes, in the beginning, some people are just going to be negative no matter what you say. Other people are not negative. They just they have questions. Let's just put it like that. They may have questions. But their questions make you feel like they ain't supporting you. So you demanding allegiance. I pledge allegiance to so-and-so's dream. That's what you want to hear. And nobody wants to be dictated to. You're demanding that they follow you. And I'm being honest. A lot of y'all are having arguments in your house right now over your trading career because of how you went about it. It ain't about the trading. It's about how you went about it and presented it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let's go to number 3. Here's what they see. Now, we're going to get to solutions to fix this. But as traders, and I know tons of traders who fit these categories. Therefore, I'm trying to help you. Because one of the things that traders do, they like to blame other people. That is a bad habit in the business of trading. And I've traded in the stock market. I've traded in the options market. I traded binary options, traded Forex. I'm telling you, in the world of trading, there is no worse category of people than Forex traders. Of all the traders that I've just mentioned now, I've done cryptocurrency trading. I've done stocks, options, binary, blah, blah. You go down the list. I've done them. But there's no worse category on this subject than Forex traders. Hands down. Hands down. And this is contributing. And you don't have to believe me. Do your own due diligence and see what's the percentage of Forex traders who enter into the Forex market who fail. And you will see the number is astronomically high. Between 70 to 90% of all Forex traders fail. And they think it's all about just the strategy and indicators. But some of that has to do with this here, because they're struggling within their own family long before they got to the charts. And part of that is because of their behavior. And part of that is because of their family's behavior. So if we don't talk about this, you're making your journey a little bit tough. That's why a lot of YouTubers don't even talk about this. This is not one of those videos you're going to get high ratings on, but it needs to be said. So let's keep going. Here's number 3. Here's what they see. Write this down. A, you started something yet again without talking to them first. Write that down. Did you? Are you guilty of it? I'm going to go through this list. Just say yes or no. Are you guilty of this? You want their allegiance, but did you earn it correctly? Number 1, you started something yet again without talking to them first. B, you investing money that was allocated for bills. As I'm going through this list, just put a yes or no next to it. Because what I'm trying to do is get you to see the other side of how they're feeling about what you said you're going to do, and possible roadblocks as to why they're not supporting your vision. Now, we're going to go to the other side, and I got solutions, but we got to get here. Because this is what they're seeing. You want their support, but this is what they're seeing. And you can't demand it out of people. This is what they're seeing. Even if you scream at the top of your lungs and cuss them out and they just get quiet on you, they're not supporting you because they still have these things as a concern. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let's keep going. C, you're sneaky with the money. Yeah, somebody said they have their reservations. That's a politically polite way of saying it. That's a good one. They have their reservations. And if you don't deal with their reservations and concerns in an objective manner, seeing it from their standpoint, then you will never have their allegiance. Let me give you a quick example before I go to the next one. Here in the US, because I know there's going to be thousands of people watch this later, and they're going to be all over the world in different places. Here in the US, and I told my students this, here in the US, they expect that every citizen in the US is on board with the US and how they do things. The problem is, for me, I'm seeing that this new political system that they have in place is just as ratchet and broken as when they had gang warfare between what they had. It's still around, but not as strong. But back in the day, they had what's called the Crips and the Bloods. The Crips and the Bloods were two gangs that used to murder each other. And you can get shot for wearing the wrong color. And that was red and blue. And I told my students, look at the political system. What are the colors? Blue and red. If you're Republican, you're red. If you're a Democrat, you're blue. I said, and they're both doing the same thing. And they're so against each other until even if one party has a good idea, because it didn't come from their party, they don't hear it. And therefore the land and the people suffer because of this gang warfare that's going on. And then they're getting you to buy into their gang warfare. And now you don't even like your cousin simply because he's a Democrat or a Republican. And now y'all arguing over some stupid stuff. And this is foolishness. And here's what I said. They want us to say, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. I said, that's not my allegiance. I won't say it. I said, okay, here's what we should be saying. I pledge allegiance to the divided states of America, because we're completely divided right now. And yet they want your allegiance while they're pulling foolishness. And this is how some of you guys are doing. This is the nucleus of what's going on in your home. There's division. You're always arguing. And this is just another thing that y'all arguing over. And there is no unitedness on anything. And yet you expect them to be on board with you. No, not going to happen. It has to be fixed. And once this is fixed, I guarantee your trading journey becomes a whole lot easier and smoother. Trust me. So let's keep going. C, have you been sneaky with the money? Have you been, blowing accounts and then sneaking more money in every week without letting them know? And then all of a sudden they check the statement and they wonder why their savings is being drained and this, And you're expecting them to support you? Let's keep going. D, you spend more time on the charts. Oh, this is going to be huge. Lord, they ain't gonna want to hear what I'm saying, Jesus. But tell them all right, you say tell them anyway. They ain't gonna like Uncle P. I asked them to like and subscribe my channel. They probably gonna hit the unsubscribe when I'm saying this stuff, because they ain't gonna want to hear the truth. Oh my God, here we go. Here's the truth. Do you spend more time on them charts than you do with them? Are you married to your charts and flirting with your family? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Have your significant other became the side piece and your charts have now become your number one? Uh-oh. And you're upset because they won't support your new love affair? You said you was going to be eating dinner with them, but they ate. You didn't show up. Interesting. Interesting. Here's the next one. E, you have a very bad temper. Oh, this is a big one here. You have a very bad temper since you've been trading. And now you want them to support your vision of trading. Now, this is something that we don't want to talk about, right? Because everybody wants to be excited about trading, but nobody wants to talk about when you lose that trade, how frustrating it is. You sat there, spent all that time on the charts, and then it just didn't work out. And so now you're trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? Do I need a new trading system? Do I need new indicators? What do I need? What's going on here? Why am I not successful? And da, 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 da. So it's a very personal battle, especially when you're dealing with people who have never traded before in their life. You can't really talk to them about what just happened. So it's a very personal internal battle. I get it. But from the outside perspective, here's what they're seeing. They're seeing that every time you steal away with your love affair, your new boo called the charts, you go on for a couple hours and then you come out with an attitude. Then you do the same thing over again. So what they're seeing is every time you go with your boo, y'all have some kind of complication, and then you coming out and taking it out on me. And yet you're asking me to support your vision. Not going to happen. Let's go to the other side. Are you also a person who do things your own way out of stubbornness, which is dragging the family downhill instead of getting real mentorship to succeed? I can't tell you how many traders I know around the globe who are just beyond stubborn. They are just stubborn people. They don't want you telling them what to do. They don't want mentorship. They don't want this and that. And their stubbornness is ruining their career that they're asking their family members to support. And I told you, this video is to help tailor first you before we start worrying about how to get them on board. You have to really do an introspective look at your behavior and see, is there anything that Uncle P is talking about today that could be contributing to the problem as to why they don't support you? Because we always want to talk about who ain't on board with me, but we never want to look at the reasons why they possibly are not. And I need you to focus as a trader, not just on the charts, but what are you doing to help earn their trust? We're almost done. Let's get to some solutions. How can we fix this? Because you got to understand, why am I spending so much time talking to you? Because it is your vision. It is what you want to do. And you want them to buy into something that they really don't even understand. You and I both know as traders that when you're trading, only traders really understand traders, to be honest with you. Would you agree? Traders understand traders, but a person who has never traded in the markets and they looking at you, you even flip the screen around and try, it looked like all this zigzag and all this kind of, and you talking about RSIs and stochastics, MACDs, trend lines, and support and resistance, supply and demand zones. You're talking about all this stuff and they have no clue what you're talking about. They don't know. It's like a foreign language. So that's against you. And then you come out with attitudes all the time. Then they seeing that the money keep disappearing. So to them, it's like, are you having a gambling addiction or something? So we have to take a look and clean up this first before we can even worry about who ain't supporting me. Am I giving them a reason to support my vision? Have I been consistent? Have I included them into the plans of what I'm trying to accomplish? Even though they may not understand what a MACD is or a stochastic is, they may not understand any of that, but at least they understand that I included them from the beginning. I made them feel a part of something. I hope this makes sense. Okay, let's go to a conclusion and we're done. Number one, I'm going to ask you to realistically do this if you fit in this one. Stop trading for a week. If you're struggling with trading and you haven't seen results and you're the person who I mentioned earlier, that you're constantly making deposits but no withdrawals, you're using bill money now because it's kind of like, oh, I learned a new strategy, so I'm going to implement it, but you keep implementing things on the live account because you can't control yourself to start out on a demo because you're too busy trying to flip money versus flipping your education into the business of trading. I suggest just stop. Stop this week. Stop. Don't trade live. Go demo or just take a break, period. I had one of my students who hit us up and told us that they had to take some time off. And they said when they came back to trading, it was like everything became picture clear. Everything just clicked in place. What was it? They were under too much pressure. And it was distorting how they saw things. And so when they took a break and then came back, everything that I was teaching them, everything, it's just sometimes it clicks faster for other people, and that's okay. So I suggest just take a break. Work on cleaning this up so you're not trading under pressure. Trading is already pressure. Trading under pressure with family issues is something totally different. It's a distraction. Okay? Number two, find a mentor or a coach that you trust and learn from them. It could be me, it could be anybody. I don't care who it is. Anybody who you trust, who you think can get you to your goal, as you would do with any other job or sport. You want to get a coach or a mentor. I went back to the gym, but this time I said, if I'm really going to try to get this weight off of me, I know my ways. I'm not consistent when it comes to that. Therefore, I hired myself a mentor and a coach who put every day, here's exactly what I need you to do. Here's how you do it. I need you to do this. I need you to do it this way. I need you to stop eating this way. I need you to take these supplements. See, my coach, and last week I lost 5 pounds. Why? Not because I didn't go to a different gym. It was the same gym equipment, but this time I had some what? Mentorship. And as a result of following my coach's plan, I got results. I lost 5 pounds last week. Thank you, Jesus. And so for some of you guys, you're struggling because you're trying to figure things out on your own. But if you're just doing YouTube videos all the time, I mean, it's a plethora. I mean, just beyond thousands of different ideas, strategies, this and that. Which one do you choose that's consistent that you think are going to work? You don't know. So you get under the wing of a coach. And again, it could be me or anybody who you trust, but get under the wing of a coach who has one, who's been around, seasoned veteran, and they can coach you to get you to your goal. Make a commitment. Here's the next one. Number 3. This is big. This is a big one. And this one's going to take some humility. Apologize to your family or significant other. You say, what? Apologize to them? They ain't been supporting me. Why am I going to... See, that's again, because you're making it all about you. And you're ignoring how they feel. Let me throw this one in, and women is going to love what I have to say. One of the things that I know is and which, by the way, and I'm saying this because there was a statistic that came out on the average number of women versus men who trade in the Forex market. And it came out that I think it was 80% or 90% of all Forex traders were men and 10% were women across the world. Something like that. I forgot what the number, but it was astronomically high. Astronomically high that the majority of traders were men versus women. And here's something else that was very unique, something you want to hear. Out of that, here's what actually happened. What they found was, out of traders between men and women, that women actually followed trading rules far more than men did. Isn't that unique? Isn't that unique? So of the women who decided to go into trading, women tend to stick to trading rules far more than men, which means that's why they had success far more than men. Interesting. Interesting. So here's what I need you to do. This week, today, before you watch a football game or whatever, before you hit them charts, go apologize to your significant other or your family members. Because by you showing humility opens the door for communication, and it brings down the frustration. And now when you go back and say, hey, I want to, whatever way you need to do it. But what happens is when you humble yourself and you go back and you say, hey, I just want to apologize, whatever you need to say. But what it does is now they're more open because you open the door of humility. Now they're willing to hear what you have to say, which is what should have happened the first time. And you can win their trust and their buy-in to your vision, not because of what you plan on doing, but they were just impressed that you humbled yourself and gave an apology. I don't think I did nothing wrong. They need to be supporting me, Uncle P. What you talking about, man? What you okay. All right. All right. Keep on doing what you're doing, and you'll keep getting the results you're getting. But if you do something humble and different, I promise you it opens the door of communication for them to be willing to express how they feel. And they may tell you exactly how they felt, which probably had nothing to do with your trading. But your approach was wrong. Not the trading. It was your approach on how you was going about it. And especially without including them in it. So by you first going back and apologizing, that opens the door of communication. I have done this with relations because I am a certified life coach. And this works magic with bad relationships too. Because they always are the ones who's the victim and they ain't supporting me. But the moment they humble themselves and say, you know, I will take your advice, I'm going to go back and apologize and just hear what they have to say. Just let them talk first. And then without rebutting them, it works like magic. So if you've been a person who, number one, like we talked about, you've been an inconsistent person. You always saying, oh yeah, I'm finna try this. 2 weeks later, oh, I'm finna try this. Oh yeah, 2 weeks later, I'm finna try this. If you know that's you, then just be honest about it. No wonder they're not supporting you. And you need to apologize for that. I apologize for being inconsistent. I know you've seen me jumping from one thing to another like a jackrabbit. And you're right. I have. I'm guilty. And I apologize for that. If you don't mind, can you hold me accountable? I want to do this consistently for the next 2 months and and get their buy-in that way. And now because they have a say-so over what's happening, I promise you'll get better buy-in from your family because they feel like they're a part of the journey. Even if they never touch the charts, they still feel like they're a part of the journey because you opened the door of communication to allow them to give you feedback. Right now, you don't want to hear no feedback. That's why you ain't got no coaching yet. You don't want to hear no feedback because you think you're right. But you've started 10 other entrepreneurial endeavors in the last year. 10. Ain't stuck with nothing. And didn't want their feedback. And you're demanding allegiance. Pledge allegiance to me. Ain't gonna happen, partner. You're making them hate your trading career when it ain't even about the trading. It's about you. Just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? What's the best way you think I can go about it? And you begin to ask questions, and this apology approach opens doors. And I'm not just talking about for your trading career. Some of you guys who's tuning into this, God may have you listening to this because you've been arguing and about to hit to divorce court or break up over something silly that could be rectified. And he needed you to hear this message. You thought it was all about Forex, but it was really about the relationship connection you have with people and how you're going about it. When I say that, let me give y'all an example before I go to these next two conclusions and we're done for today. When I brought to my wife's attention, watch this. This is very important, especially since majority of traders are men. Hear what Uncle P did. I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's what I did with my wife. I shared with her when we were in the dating phase. I told her that I have a very roller coaster type of life. I said, I'm an entrepreneur, and so sometimes we're going to have very, very highs, and sometimes if things happen, I may have hit some lows, but I said, we're going to be all right. It's going to be a roller coaster. I was honest with her when we were in the dating phase. Then when I decided I was going to go into this type of trading after I had lost almost everything I had, and she's seen me lose everything. That's what she actually met me. I had nothing. I was a multi-millionaire, lost everything, and was 1 week away from homeless. That's when she came into my life. So I knew she wasn't a person who was coming in my life because of anything I had prior, because I lost everything. Why? Because on the way up, I knew how to get up there, but when the road and the weather got bad, I didn't have a coach or a mentor to help me navigate through that, and I ended up falling. So now, here I come talking about I want to trade in the markets. But what I did right was I asked her about it. And she didn't understand it, but just me inviting her in to let her know her opinion was important. Number two, write this down, write this down, write this. I'm blessing you, I'm blessing you, I'm blessing you. Because here's step number two, and I don't know, this is a bonus because this is not even in my notes, but God must be saying somebody needs this information. So I'm going to share with you what I actually did. It was not in my notes, but apparently somebody out there needs this. Here's what your Uncle P, your coach, did. Oftentimes, let me put this down because this is some deep. Now, I don't even know why I didn't put this in my notes. This is deep. Do you know, watch this. Perk your ears up, take notes. They always say in relationships, opposites attract. This is going to be deep, but it's going to be a blessing for you. Please share this information with your other trading friends. If they bypass everything else I said, do not bypass this. You want to know why there's so many divorces and relationship breakups? I'm telling you right now. Because opposites attract. That's a fancy, cute little statement, and everybody is talking about it. But the problem is, that is the problem. Opposites attract. Oftentimes, people who have an entrepreneurial endeavor or entrepreneurial type of spirit are attracted to people who are not. That is automatically an issue. Why? Because you don't mind taking risks. You don't mind investing into crypto. You don't mind investing into Forex. You don't mind investing into this business. You don't mind going out there and trying a network marketing endeavor. See, that don't bother you at all. Because in your heart, you have the entrepreneurial spirit of something's going to work and one day I'm going to be rich. Type amen. Okay? You know I'm telling the truth. This is who we are. But opposites attract opposites. In other words, let me rephrase that. Opposites attract. So if you have that kind of spirit, you are attracted oftentimes to somebody who does not. So what does the do not look like? They want security. They want consistent, dependable income. Entrepreneurs in what we do is not dependable. You can't just say, I'm going to, like this week, I plan on making money in the markets this week. How much? I don't know. Because I don't know what the market's going to do. But that don't bother me. I've been a big risk taker. Opposites attract. So if you're a risk taker and you get married or date or have family members who are not risk takers, can you automatically see where the conflict is coming in? It is not about you, boo. It ain't about your trading career. Opposites attract. The question is, Is your entrepreneurial endeavor going to put my security need at risk? Because you're opposite. You like risk, they don't. You don't mind taking risks, they don't like taking risks. And yet y'all met up together. That's why I keep telling people when I switch hats and I start doing my coaching for relationships, I tell people all the time, stop buying into this foolishness about opposites attract, because it can also be the biggest obstacle to cause you to go divorce, to get divorced, or to break up. Because when it comes to things of your core values and your core way of seeing the world, if they don't see it the way you see it, there's going to be a problem. And oftentimes divorces do not take place over what you guys do agree upon. It takes place over what you don't. And this is one of them. My wife has degrees on her wall. Her office is right next door to mine. And she has degrees on her wall. She's written books, spoken on stages, taught, lectured. She was a teacher. See, all of that requires that type of education. There is no school out there for a Forex trader. Do you hear what I'm saying? There is no standard class that you can go to in college that says Forex traders. You can go to any high-end college and they don't offer a class on it. Therefore, it is something that is an entrepreneurial endeavor. In other words, you have to create it. You have to learn on your own. There is no classroom curriculum, but you're okay with that. For a person who is used to the curriculum and the rigmarole of turning in assignments, getting grades and grading their papers and getting graded and turning in their doctorate forms and whatever it is, that's their routine. And they know they're on track because there's somebody who's grading them every step of the way. They're consistent, it's secure. It's a process that's been around. Or entrepreneurs or trailblazers, you don't know what's going to happen. If I work at a job this week, 40 hours a week, I know at the end of the 40 hours, it's already established how much money I'm going to get, how much they're going to take out for medical expenses and da-da-da. And I can judge my bills very consistently off of that. That's a secure person. That's their security. They know how everything is going to be. There are no surprises. But yet opposites attract. So this secure person ends up getting connected to you, who wants to go out here and do this venturous stuff. Come on now, this is some good stuff, Jesus. And so you out here trying to do your entrepreneurial stuff, which doesn't have a guaranteed paycheck. It does not have a guaranteed type of educational process where you can actually show a plaque on your wall or a degree saying, I have completed this curriculum and I've been graded and I show proof that I am good at what I do because now I got something to put on my wall to prove it. In the Forex arena and trading arena, it doesn't exist. And your opposites attract situation, you just attracted yourself to somebody who likes that stuff. Consistent paychecks, plaque on the wall. If I do something good at the job, they gave me a measurement to let me know I'm succeeding. That's what they do. They pull you in that office and they start meeting with you and they tell you, okay, hey, over the last quarter, here's what you've been doing. And they critique you. Okay. Over here, there's nobody but you and this laptop computer. It's like porno. There's nobody to tell you what to do. And you caught up in this little corner by yourself, talking about I'm going to be a trader. No accountability, no judgment, nothing. And they don't know what you're doing. So number one, that threatens their security. Then you keep putting money into your blown account because you are hard-headed and won't listen. And now they keep checking the account for security and you're threatening that security. Because somehow the money keep disappearing. You said you was going to make the money, but every week they keep seeing money taken out of their secure account that was supposed to be allocated for bills and savings and this and that. That's their language. Savings and bills being paid on time. You over here you're threatening it. You stubborn, you hard-headed, don't want a mentorship, don't want to do nothing. And they see this and you're threatening their security. And yet you're demanding allegiance. Nobody's supporting me. Everybody against me. And stop talking like that. Because you're not seeing it from their perspective. Type a 20 in the box if I'm touching on truth. Because see, not everybody wants truth, but the truth will set you free. So when I decided that I was going to trade, I knew who my wife was. Now, for me, the blessing was she's not the person who is the entrepreneur, but she don't mind entrepreneurial endeavors. She didn't argue with me about it. Here's the reason why. Take note. Number one, it didn't matter what I told her. I would always do my best to keep my promises, big or small. Charts or anything, it didn't matter. If I said I was going to show up to her job to pick her up to go to lunch, and I told her I was going to be there at a certain time, I was either there on time or I was there moments before. I was early to prove to her that she's going to be with a man who knows how to keep his word on everything. That's called integrity. She knew that I had succeeded in other businesses. It's just that I was going through what I call a Job season. If you read the Bible, you know who Job is. Job went through a hardship and lost everything. Didn't mean that he wasn't a good man. It was just that he was going through a tough season. But he still was a good man. So she knew I had the potential to get myself back up because I wasn't a quitter. Although this was the toughest period of my life. But I was a consistent man. Even in my low, she saw me work. And here's what she will tell you. She saw me keep my integrity. Even when all hell broke loose in my life, I kept my integrity. And she saw that when we were just friends. So when we moved towards the dating phase, she knew that this man, and I'm seeing him go through the worst of that a human being can go through. And yet he has not lost his integrity. He ain't trying to shice nobody. He ain't trying to steal. He ain't creating no con jobs. He ain't trying to scam nobody when he has nothing. And he's just holding on to faith and just trying to get back up on his feet. She saw that. What did I establish? Consistency, even in my low. So when I come out and say, I'm going to try this to get back on my feet, it wasn't about the trading. It was about, she saw that this man has integrity. And whether it works or not, it really don't matter. Because she had her own job, making her own money, and she had told me. She told me, if we end up living in a one-room efficiency, as long as we got each other, we're going to be okay. That's what she told me. Because she knew I wasn't trying to be like some of y'all, being slick and sneaky, inconsistent, don't say certain things, can't be trusted. It was not about, listen, loved one, I'm trying to tell you, I don't know where this is coming from, but somebody needs, it is not about your trading career. It is about you. Are you a man or woman of integrity? Can you be trusted? What is your backup plan if it doesn't work? Have you even entertained that conversation? Or are you demanding allegiance to this only? It better work. And then that's it. And you're dealing with a person who needs security. And you have no backup plan to tell them. And every other week. Watch this. Because this is another big mistake I hear all the time from traders. All the time. I need to quit my job. I need to quit my job. Wait. So you want to go into trading. You ain't made no money yet. You keep blowing up your accounts and you're saying you want to quit your job. Wait a minute. Take it over here to the side of the other person, family members, whoever it is, significant other, who's hearing you say this. And they're about security. And you're saying you're going to quit a secure job that is bringing in dependable income. And you're expecting them to, yes, honey, that's a great idea. And they're seeing that you have not made one penny. You come out after hours upon hours on them charts without a single thing to show for it. And you want to quit the one thing that is bringing in provisions for the family. And you want them to buy into it. And if they don't support me. I'm tired of these people don't support me. And Uncle P, why you ain't talking about them? I don't need to talk about them because I can't. Listen. One principle I learned, I can never change people. I can only let them be who they're going to be. But I can change myself. That's the only authority I have on this land called Earth. It's the authority to change me. And so while you're over here arguing, trying to demand them to change, they're seeing all of this going on. And not once did you consider how they may have felt with your inconsistent self. And all they hear, quit job, but you ain't got no backup plan. Let me tell you what I did. And this is just Uncle P. Take it for what it is. Do what you want to do with the information. I worked at a job. After being a multimillionaire, lost everything. That was one of the most heartbreaking experiences in my life. I lost friends, family, people. I lost income. It was bad. It was really a Job experience. And it kind of took me to this day. It happened years ago. And to this day, I still don't know. I really don't know what happened. How did this? I thought about that for years, and to the point where I don't even think about it no more. It doesn't matter. And I think that's the way Joe felt. What the hell happened? I was doing good by people, helping people out. What happened? To this day, I don't have an answer. I don't know. But here's what I do know. Why they did what they did to me, why this happened, why that, I don't know. That's people making decisions. They do what they do. But I know I can get myself back up on my feet and I can do what I do. And that is, if you haven't read the book, I suggest you do. Think and Grow Rich. I fought my way the first time through it, and God reminded me in the pit of my low, I know this hurts, but you did it the first time and you can do it again. And it may not be the way you did it the first time, but that's okay. You can still do it again. So let's get on up and let's get to walking. Put one foot in front of the other and just keep on walking. You got this. I know you can do it, son. Let's go. And God helped me to get up off the mat and just start putting one foot in front of the other. Now, where did Nancy come into play? I humbled myself and got a job after being retired when I was in my late 20s. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I was already retired when I was around 27, 28 years old. I was retired. And for more than a decade, I didn't work for nobody. I hired people with degrees to work for me. I was doing my thing. Buying houses, buying cars, living good. People looking up to me. I was proud of myself. And then you lose everything. You got to humble yourself and go work at a job. And let me tell you, the job I worked at, I had started out as a part-timer. I didn't even get a job as a full-timer. Because you got to remember, I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't even have a degree. Because for what I did, you don't need degrees. So I couldn't go in with a big degree on my shoulder showing these job employers that I'm the ish. Do you know who's coming to walk? Do you know who just walked in this building? This is the prior multimillionaire dude who's coming to work for you. I'm an asset to you. I'm just having a Job season. But don't you minimize who I am. I couldn't even come to the door and say that. So I end up working part-time, 4 hours a week through a temp agency. I'm talking to you, trader. The one who want to be a full-time trader, I am talking to you. Don't you tune me out because I'm telling you the truth. You keep trying to quit your job, which is threatening a security person over here. So notice what I did. I started with this part-time job. And then as I was saving up money, I went in and said, okay, I want to start doing XYZ. What did I establish first? That I can be consistent and do what I need to do over here. I'm not going to threaten your security. I'm going to make consistent income so you know these bills, if you get with me, I'm going to handle my business. And I'm going to make sure these bills are paid. And I won't compromise the safety and security of these bills being paid because I have an itch to go try some entrepreneurial endeavor. The entrepreneurial endeavor will take a backseat to making sure my family is secure and that these bills are going to get paid through a consistent method called a paycheck. I may not like it, but I'm going to have to do what I got to do. And that's what I did. And then I ended up not working at that job anymore, and I went to another one, but I kept working. And it wasn't because I didn't do good at that job, because guess what? On that job, I ended up going from working part-timer to actually running. And it was Bank of America. I ended up working 4 hours at night, part-time, and then they loved my work so well. See, they didn't know who they hired. I had made a lot of money in real estate. But then the market turned bad on me and I lost everything. That was the problem. It wasn't that I was a bad guy. I knew my stuff. So then you hired me to work 4 hours in this field. Because that's when all them foreclosures and stuff was going on. They didn't know who they hired through the door. By the time they figured it out, guess what? I was running a lot of that department, reporting directly to the president and vice president of that department. I ended up running the California team, Texas team, and India team. All of them reported to me, and I was the person who hired who I wanted and fired who I wanted. So I went from being a nobody in the company to being a big dog at Bank of America. I was consistent. And then that division, property portfolio, which I oversaw for all the United States, they sold that off to a different company, so I had to go somewhere else. They said, you can move to this company, and which wasn't offering what I was worth, or, we'll give you a severance package and you can go do your thing. I took the severance and I went to another job while working on my vision of being a trader. Skipping forward, here's what happened. I was showing my wife consistent income from my trading, but I stayed at that job. And some of my students are actually some of my past coworkers. So they know I'm telling the truth on this. And the company decided one day, they had us all called, and some of y'all who are watching this later, who's my students, you remember this. So you remember they called us in, they had threw this big old company party at a movie theater just to accommodate all the staff. And then the owners of the company came in and they was, I knew something was up because they trying to woo, when they trying to woo you with all this food and trying to, cheer you on. And I was like, okay, what, see, I'm a businessman. I see past all that. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going to happen? And sure enough, they made company policy changes that I disagreed with. Now, had I needed that income, I would have just had to stick it out until my dream got off the ground. But lucky for me, it had already did its thing. And that very day, when they made that announcement saying, oh, we gonna do XYZ, here's what I did. I'm telling you the truth. Here's what I did. I didn't just walk off the job. I contacted my significant other first. See, still getting her buy-in. I don't make decisions like that and just do my thing and then come back later telling her what she should be. Well, you wasn't there. No. That's inappropriate. See, I don't demand allegiance. I earn it. I earn her trust. She's my teammate. So I include her and get her perspective just to make sure I'm not tripping and doing things out of emotion. Because my decisions affect her. And that's what some of y'all forgetting. You want to be this trader, but you're forgetting that your decisions over here in the privacy of your little intimate setting with you and your computer, and you keep putting money into your trading account and blowing it every week, that is subtracting money from them, whether they know it or have found out or not. Your decisions over here is affecting them over here. And your inconsiderate behavior is affecting them over here. Because they know you make decisions out of rationale and feelings, irrational decisions rather, out of feelings and emotions. And then you come over here and demand them to pledge allegiance to you. I didn't do that. So here's what actually happened. And let me sum this up and get done with this video, because I was supposed to be done a long time ago. Let me tell you what I actually did. They came in with that foolishness that I disagree with. Talking about we're going to mess up with your comp plans. No, you ain't going to mess with Uncle P's comp plan money. No, sir, easy. Cha-ching, cha-ching. No, you ain't messing with my money. And I was rising up as one of the top salespeople. Oh, no, bro, you tripping. And they tried to flip it and make it all sound good. No, I'm a businessman. You can flip it and put as much makeup and sexy heels on this thing here. At the end of the day, you trying to tamper with my money. You trying to say it real cute, but I know what you're doing, bro. Okay? So I went, contact after that meeting. I was driving back from the meeting, and I called my wife, and I said, here's what they're trying to do. And she said, what do you want to do? I said, well, babe, I think I'm good enough now to just go out on my own. What do you think? She said, well, honey, if that's what you decide, I'm okay with it. See, what led up to that instant short conversation of getting her to be in agreement with me walking off the job where I was making a lot of money. And she was just, it was no big deal to her. It was like, okay, no problem. If that's what you want, honey. See, it wasn't that she's so submissive that anything I say to her, she just agreed. No, what happened was, remember when I had no money and I had to go get a part-time job? She saw that I was consistent. I would do whatever is needed to make sure that her security and the bills would be paid if you get with this brother. And when she did, I was very consistent all along the way. I'll never forget, she told a story. I heard her not too long ago on the phone with somebody, and she said, I remember when he had earned this bonus check from his sales, and they gave me a bonus, and it was worth thousands of dollars. And she said, I remember when he put it into his trading account and blew that money, all of it. Yes, I did. See, this is why I can talk with authority when it comes to traders. I did all that stuff you're doing. But she said, I didn't bother him. Why? Because it came out of his what? Bonus check. It was play money. It wasn't bill money. It was play money. It was bonus check. I earned the bonus and she let me just do whatever. And if it worked out, that's fine. If it didn't, no problem. But see how I earned trust even with that. So when I blew it and it was $1,000, I was hurt deeply. She wasn't really bothered because it didn't affect the base money. It was bonus money. I could do what I want with it. And she knew about it. Notice she was able to talk about it because she knew about it. I didn't hide the fact that I had this extra money. She was like, no, go ahead. You earned it. Do your thing. See, communication in your relationships with people goes a far way. Some of you guys got poor communication and you sneaky. They don't trust you. That's why they're not buying into your vision about being a Forex trader. But the day when I said, honey, I think I need to leave this job, right after that big meeting, call her up, baby, here's what they're talking about doing, which means I'm going to end up having to work 3 times as hard to earn the same amount of money that I'm already doing because they changed the comp plan. She said, what do you want to do? I said, baby, I think today is it. She said, okay. Why? I'll tell you why. Watch this. This is so cool. Now, y'all going to get a blessing out of this. Let me tell you why. She knew What my bosses didn't know yet, but they was gonna find out that day. And it happened that same day. All of this happened in the same day. This God understood. Here's what happened. So I left that meeting, called her. She was like, okay, whatever you decide, it's all good, right? So then I sat there and I prayed about it. I said, like, Lord, this is it. No, man, this is good. Huh? See, went to prayer. See, still not making an emotional decision. I'm gonna cuss them out and I'm gonna F y'all. No, I acknowledged her. I went in prayer and I felt comfortable in my spirit. So I walked into there. And I had two bosses, one on the floor and one in the main office. Y'all, those who who used to work with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have one boss on the floor and one in the office, right? So I went to my boss on the floor and I told him, hey, man, I think this is it, man. This is my last day. He's like, what? Because me and him was cool. He wasn't just my boss. He was my partner. See, I respected relationships and I built a good relationship with him. So we was cool. We was buddies. But I told him, man, I got to bounce. Because this is not going to work for me. And so he tried to, say some encouraging words to keep me on board. And I said, no, man, I'm good. So then he said, hold on. And he took me and those who worked with me, who knew about Ben, he took me into the office and I sat with Ben. And both of them, they shut the door and did a tag team on the brother. Why? I was actually a good employee. I didn't burn bridges even at the job. I was responsible and respectable. Even though I didn't want to be there, I didn't burn bridges. And so they knew I was one of their top sales guys, and I was actually good and friendly with everybody. I was a person who used to every Friday bring in donuts for the whole team. I was a team player. See, I'm faithful wherever God puts me, even if I don't want to be there. I'm faithful. And so they came in and was trying to convince me. Now, see, if you're a poor employee, they would be like, yeah, okay, man, we'll get you whatever you need to head on out the door. And they quickly rush you out the door. No, they didn't do that with me. They was trying to convince me to stay because I was such a good employee. I was faithful. And so they sitting up there yakety, 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 yakety. And I'm like, no, but sir, no matter how y'all trying to make me stay on board, I hear you. You guys are great people, but that comp plan that they just switched to today is going to make everybody do 5 times the amount of work just to earn what we're already making today. And that's not fair. And they kept on going, well, see, it may change. And they was trying their best to try to convince me to stay. And then here's what happened. Here's the okie dokie. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Somebody say cha-ching, cha-ching. Woo, God is good. So here's what actually happened. I got enough of their conversation, and I knew that no matter what I say, because I got along with them, they were going to just try to keep talking me into staying, and I don't want to be there no more. It was a blessing that the company wants me there. That's a blessing, but I didn't want to be there no more. So here's what I actually did. I pulled out, I promise you I'm not lying, I pulled out my cell phone. And I showed them on my cell phone how much money I made that day from trading in the markets. And they said, okay, Pat, we wish you well. The conversation was over. Why? Because I showed them what my wife already knew. I was already making money out of the markets now. I was consistent. I didn't quit immediately. I was still consistent. And all that yakety, 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 yakety. And then when I showed them my phone, took it out and showed them, look how much money I made today. They said, okay. Because they knew there was nothing more they can say at that point. Because if this brother is earning this kind of money through his trading, and they're talking about taking money out of his pocket to stay and work all these hours, there's nothing you can say to convince them. So they wish me well. The only thing they asked me is, hey, instead of quitting today, can you give in 2 weeks severance, 2 weeks notice? So I was faithful. I could have walked in and said, to hell with y'all, man. I don't need y'all. You know how much money Uncle P? Do you know I'm Uncle Peasy? Cha-ching, cha-ching. I could have did all that. I said, nah, I ain't staying on another 2 weeks, man. I told you I'm out. That's what some of y'all would have did. Bad attitude. No, I was faithful. I said, yes, sir. I can come back for the next 2 weeks. And I did. And I showed up to work. And I was faithful. And then I left. And I haven't worked since. Fast forward, my wife came to me, and because one of the things I did, I know that men are very poor at having a conversation with their significant other. Most people always want you to support their dreams, but they never ask the other person, do you have a dream that I can support as well? That's a fatal flaw in relationships, which is why you have so many divorces, by the way. Let me say this and move on, because I got to go. So I had a conversation with my wife, and I asked her, what's your dream? What is it that you want to do? And she told me, I want to write a book and I want to do XYZ. I said, well, what do we need to do to get you there? She said, well, I just need time. All right, time it is. And I bust my butt. And I earned what I needed to earn. And I earned enough to prove to her that I could support the bills on my own without her working. And so she quit her job. I put her into retirement. And she wrote her first book. And then she wrote a second book. And then she went back to work, didn't like that, and then she went back into retirement. And as of today, my wife hasn't worked, and she works for me in a part of the business, but outside of that, she doesn't work now. She hasn't worked for a few years. See, here's the conclusion. The whole time I was very strategic. Remember, I'm married to a secure person. They like consistent paychecks. How are you going to pay these bills? I don't care if you have your separate dream, that's fine. But just how are we going to take care of these responsibilities? If you're staying at home with your parents, they're asking the same thing. That's great you want to do this. I'm not against that. But I haven't yet to see you be consistent in taking care of the responsibilities you already have. If you're with a significant other and they need security, they're asking the same question. The people you want support from is asking the same question. I haven't seen you be consistent with what you already said you was going to do. How are you going to take care of this? These basic responsibilities. By the time I put her into retirement, she saw my consistency. And she saw that I was making more than enough money to take care of everything, whether she worked or not. She said she wanted a particular car to get her back and forth to work. I went and bought it cash. No loan, cash. No debt, cash. So if this brother can hustle and do this for me, then I know he can take care of the bills. And he's smart about his bills. He don't live above his means, trying to live in this big old mansion just to show off to people. No, he keeps me in a nice place to stay, but it's always reasonable so that if anything happens, if he stops trading today, whatever, we have enough saved up that we can take care of ourselves for a very long time off of what he saved up. See, consistency. Always thinking in advance on how to provide security. If you're learning anything from this, just type an amen in the box. I know we got a few people, thousands of watchers later. Just type amen in the box if you understand what I'm trying to teach you. It is not about your trading career. It is about your consistency in what you say you're going to do. And how strategic are you in planning out, making sure that they're going to feel secure when you go out and do your thing. It's not about your trading. You thought it was about trading. It's not. It's about human interactions and trust. That's what it's all about. So if you got nothing else and you never tune into another video from me, at least you understand what my journey looked like when I had absolutely nothing to offer this woman. Because she met me when I was at the lowest of the low. At the lowest of the low. And even then, I was still being consistent. Even when I wanted to take revenge on the people who did me wrong, I didn't. I didn't create no scheme. I ain't create no con job. I ain't try to get over on nobody. I just kept on crying and I kept my feet moving forward, trying to figure out what can I do next, what I have remaining. And all I had left was my brain. I didn't have no money. I had nothing. All I had was my faults, and I can use them to defeat me, or I can use them to build. And I just chose to use my brain to build, think, and grow rich. And she admired my hustle. She admired my don't give up and don't quit. She admired the fact that I was still consistent. And when I said I was going to do something, I did it, even when I had nothing to offer but time. Let me give you these two and we're done. Number 4, commit to following trading rules. Commit to rules. Trading is very easy when you follow the rules. Be consistent. Follow rules. Last but not least, be open and honest with them so that they can see your progress to earn their buy-in on your dream. Have conversations, be open and honest, ask for feedback, and don't argue when they give it to you because they're just sharing with you what they see. But the more you open up with them, the more they're going to be open to your vision and dream. Right now, you slick, you sneaky, you're demanding, you're argumentative, you're mean, you're fussy, you having all this alone time with this little computer. They don't know whether you really trading or having privacy with porn sites. They don't know. But they do know that every time you coming out, you walking out with attitude and frustration, and you pissed and you don't communicate. They keep seeing money coming out the savings account and you ain't saying what's going on. So they just, okay, he must be gambling. You said you was going to make money. What's going on here? You ain't attended no classes. You always just sloppy. You just going about it wrong. So here's the deal, and I'm done. I pray that you take heed to what I shared today. I did share some personal stuff about my journey. I didn't immediately quit my job. Even when I knew I made enough money, I didn't immediately quit my job. I was consistent. And here's another thing, bonus. Why didn't I quit my job when I made enough money to do so? I tell my students all the time, what you're going to find out when you actually, I want to be a full-time trader. No, you don't. I promise to God you don't. Because when you become a full-time trader, realistically, trading only takes a few minutes a day to make a decision, go in when you're trading by rules. You go in at the time you say you're going to trade, rule. You look for only what you say you're going to look for, rules. You place your trades, and those who place trades, you know, it'll take a few, less than a minute to place a trade. So then, okay, that's it. Even if it takes you 30 minutes to an hour a day, fine. What do you do with the rest of the hours? See, there's nothing to do. You're bored. So there was no need for me to quit my job, earning thousands of dollars over here just because I'm trading. Because trading, I could do it anywhere. It wasn't nothing. There was no need until they forced me out by changing the rules of how they was going to pay me. They forced me out. Other than that, I probably would have still been there. Not because I had to have the money. It was because it kept me occupied. You going to pay me thousands of dollars to do something that I was good at? Okay, I will stay. Ain't that what they call, quote unquote, multiple streams of income? See, your job is your other stream of income. You keep trying to quit the job, you the fool. That's your other stream of income. You don't need to quit your job to trade. That's part of the reason I tell y'all all the time. Oh, God, let me stop this video because, ooh, they ain't going to like me, Jesus. But I keep trying to prove to you guys that some of you guys who are starting out and who've been struggling, they keep saying, I want to be a full-time trader. And I keep proving over and not one time in all these years I've been saying this, have one person prove me wrong. Professional traders are, write this down, professional traders are professional waitors. They wait for the setup. So majority of the time, they're not even trading because they're just sitting there and waiting. The average retail trader trades 20, 30, 40, 50 trades a week. You already are a full-time trader. That's your problem. You're trading too much because of your impatience. And then you're talking about you want to quit your job so you can do even more of it. You're going to destroy yourself and your family. This is why when you really tune in to the rare few people who actually trade for a living, you find out they have multiple businesses or they're actually still working. Because they realize what I'm trying to teach you. You don't need to quit your job to be a trader. You're going to find out that was a big no-no. My job was fun to me because I didn't need their money. It was just extra money. And I enjoyed working with my coworkers. It was cool with me. Got along with my bosses. Everything was cool. So I wasn't under pressure because I wasn't in a rush to quit like some of y'all. I enjoyed it. It was fine. And I'm telling you, when I quit, God, it got boring. And here's the result of it. Some of you guys, when you trade, because you're paying too much attention to the trade, you're jumping in and out of trades and doing this and that. You don't have any rules or reasons. Like when I get out of a trade in the signals group, I say, which we did several times last week, man, hey, we up 30 pips. Hey, we up 40 pips. Hey, we up this. Hey, let's just close this thing out because and this is what I said. I said, because I see it's bumping up against a very strong resistance level or a very strong support level. So let's take our money and run. That's what I said in the signals group. See, I had a reason to close the trade. Some of y'all, you don't have no reasons. You just nervous because you ain't got nothing better to do than to keep sitting your butt, staring at the MT4 on your phone. Every little flicker, you jumping around. Then you closing trade out. Then you hopping back in. Oh, it's still going. And you jump back in. And you just playing. So you just inconsistent. No rules, nothing. You just a trip. And you trying to quit your job to do more of that? And you want them to buy in on it? Man, you got to be kidding me. I told you this video everybody ain't gonna like this video, Jesus. But the truth will set you free. Stop trying to quit your job. Just learn the ropes of trading. Stop being in a rush. I wasn't in a rush. I took my time. I stayed faithful. I stayed trustworthy. I stayed committed. Some of y'all who used to work with me, you know this was happening. And I got nervous because I'm like, no, this is drawing too much attention. Y'all know, those who watching this later, who are my students, you knew, and you used to be my coworker. You remember this, where people used to come to my desk because other people found out that I was trading and I started teaching a little bit at the job. But it was starting to where people were coming to my desk all the time talking about trading. And I didn't want that attention at my job because that's not faithfulness. That wasn't what I'm there for. And people from the front office to the people on the sales floor were coming to my desk for trading. So my reputation started growing long before I ever started the Super Easy Forex. It started there. And they saw me, but I was still at work. I was faithful. And God honored that. And God will honor you when you become faithful. Let me say this last thing. And I really am done, but I think it needs to be said. For some of you guys, trading may not even be your thing. What? Yeah, I'm being honest with you. So you don't want me to sign up with you? No, I think you need to check your heart first and really see if this is even for you. Is this just something because you just, you saw a couple of kids on YouTube videos with Lamborghinis and this and that, and you just assuming, okay, well, this was a quick, fast money to make money on my. What did you really do some real homework on this, or is this just another one of them gigs that you're gonna tamper with out of the other 50 or 40 of them that you already did? Because every other week you jack of all trades, master of none. You don't take no time to really study nothing. You just tamper with everything. You understand what I'm saying? Just being honest. Just be honest with you. Are you one of them people? Every time a shiny object, you just got an email. Oh, try this. Oh, we have a new crypto. Oh, we have a new this. We have a new that. Oh, we have a new sales pitch and you can do this. And you just always into everything. And your significant other or your family members is seeing you jumping like a jackrabbit every single time. Maybe you need to just sit down and not do anything yet and figure out and get before God and say, God, which one is right for me? And it may not even be trading. You know you're messing up your sales, so what? We donate the money anyway. Who cares? Don't buy nothing from me. If I'm telling you the truth, don't buy nothing from me or anybody else. Search your soul and ask God, is this really for you? And if it is, okay, sign up with us or with whoever can mentor you and get mentorship first. That's like talking about I'm gonna be a doctor, but you ain't never went to school for it. The heck? Well, I'm gonna carve up a real. I'm gonna be a heart surgeon, Uncle P. I'm gonna be a heart surgeon, Uncle P. Okay, well, what school you going to? Oh, I ain't going to school. I'm just gonna I'm gonna find somebody who needs some help, and I'm just gonna cut open their chest, and I'm gonna. So you don't want to go to schools called demo account to practice with them, to learn it first before you go on the live body? No, Uncle PC, I'm talented, I'm gifted, Uncle P. That's what people do in trading. You're going to carve up a live body with a live account before you demo test anything, no mentorship, no nothing. Well, see, Uncle P, I saw this video on how to do heart surgery, and he said it was simple as just connecting these valves together. All right. Woe unto whoever comes in your presence. You cutting up on their heart, and that ain't the issue. They just had a headache. Your crazy self. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, this is some truth. This is some truth. Your approach is wrong. And could it be that God has led you to this channel to really get your attention to say, is this really the right thing for me and for my family? And that's why I said, number one, take the rest of this week off. As a matter of fact, this week, they're going to be having a lot of news. GBP is going to be announcing interest rates. I think Euro is going to be announcing interest rates. AUD is going to be announcing interest rates. A lot of them are going to be talking about their year over year or inflation rates. So it's going to be a high news week anyway. Okay. So I would suggest just to take this week off anyway and just take a break and just really do some soul searching and say, hey, is this for me? If it is, here's the path that I'm going to take and spell it out. If it's not for you, then okay, just stop right now. If you got nothing else out of this video other than, hey, I finally came across a video where somebody cared enough for me to tell me the truth, then so be it. Praise God. I did my job. So I'm not encouraging you one way or the other. Only you can figure that out, whether this is the right thing for you. But if this is just another one of them things like the other 20 or 30 that you tried and you just dibbling, dabbling in things and keep throwing money at things and hoping for something to stick on the wall, then I'm sorry, you're in the wrong business. You have to be committed to this. And your family is seeing all this inconsistency and you keep trying to demand their allegiance. It's not going to happen, boo. So if my story helped you guys understand what I actually did to earn my wife's trust, to get us to where we are, then praise God. Now you know what I did. I didn't just quit a job. Even when I was making money, I just didn't quit. I didn't do that. I was very methodical in everything I do. We're about to make some more moves now. Significant moves. Significant investments. But I talked to her first to make sure that she was on board with my decisions. And because of my historical data, some of you guys like to backtest indicators, you need to backtest your behavior. My wife, when I mentioned to her, I want to make these moves, she backtested in her head, how consistent has this man been? When he says he's going to do something, does he keep his word? How dedicated have I seen him be? Does he actually have a plan? What is the backup plan if this doesn't work? Has he thought this through? If not, I can give him some feedback. Is he open to my feedback? Or is he just telling me so I can just say yes to everything he says? See, they do back test on you when you say something based off of the experiences they had with you or are currently having with you. And truth be told, some of y'all, the experiences people are having with you is terrible. You're mean, argumentative, demanding, sneaky, and you're demanding that they agree with everything you say. And men, terrible. Shame on you. When was the last time you ever asked her dreams and visions? One of the reasons why I worked very hard on what I was doing is because I knew she had a dream. And in order for me to help support her dream, we needed more money. See, her dream was just as important as mine. So when I wanted to discuss my dream, I also wanted to discuss what was her dream. And I ended up using her dream of what she wanted to do with her life to motivate me with my dream to work even harder at it, to succeed. See, it wasn't all about me. She was just as important. And after getting with this brother and giving me a shot to be in her life after meeting me when I had nothing to offer her, and she still gave me a shot, yeah, man, hey, what can I do to support her? And these big moves that I'm about to make in the next few months is because she mentioned this is what she sees that she would like to do. So behind the scenes, I'm grinding all the time. I'm always doing things, but in a consistent way. And historically, she's excited because she knows her husband. I'm now her husband, which it's on Valentine's Day will be our 8-year wedding anniversary. So here's the deal. She knows that I have proved to her. Then when I say, okay, let's get it done, I spelled out, here's the plan, here's what we have in the accounts, here's what we're going to be able to do. She's excited because she knows that her husband is a consistent man. And if things don't work out according to plan, she knows I already have a backup. It ain't that big of a deal. We're going to keep it moving, boo. Because that's what we do. Cha-ching, cha-ching. If this video was helpful to you, and I know we have a few people, thousands of watchers later over time, can you guys type a 100 in the box? I just want to make sure this video was helpful. I know nobody in the Forex arena ever talks about any of this. And clearly you can see why. But if it has blessed you and gave you something to think about, if it has done anything for you, please just hit the like and subscribe button so that YouTube will share it with more Forex traders. I do not monetize this channel. I don't get paid for it. So every video I've ever done over the last couple of years, it was simply because I just want to be a blessing to other people. I don't monetize. I don't have an advertiser. Every week I have advertisers come to me, hey, we want to advertise on your channel, from Levi's to all these brands all over the world. They all keep contacting me every single week, and I've always said no. It's simply out of love I'm doing this because I know the pain of a Forex trader, and nobody talks about this stuff. Nobody. But almost every trader on the planet has to deal with these things. And not a single person saying nothing about it. That's crazy to me. So Uncle P just loved y'all. I'm not here to scam you. I'm not here to take advantage of you. I'm not here for any of that. That's why I told you, if you don't feel like I'm cool, don't sign up with us. I'm cool with that. That's not a big deal. That don't hurt my feelings. It's fine. Because again, your purchases help us with the nonprofit organizations we donate to. So not a big deal. I don't care. But I just want you to have some good information, okay? All right, go enjoy the football games today. I'm going to go watch some football. Kansas City Chiefs are playing the 49ers. And I forgot what the other ones are. I forgot. Cincinnati is playing somebody. I forgot who Cincinnati is playing. Who are they playing? I can't remember who. I forgot who they're playing. But anyway, whoever your favorite team is, hope they win. Have a great day. If you're my students, I will be in class on Tuesday. Let's rock and roll. Bye.